So just to show you what's outside, and the greenhouse is really much more of what you saw on the windowsill in my last video. So I've got more apricot status, scabiosa, the drumstick variety, and perfecta blue. A couple of annual lupins, black-eyed Susan that I bought. Here's where a lot of my snapdragons are, the apple blossom snapdragons. I might try pinching some of these today. More speedier, as you can see. This is my tray of Achillea that I'm really not having much luck with at all, which is unusual because last year they did amazingly well, but for some reason I think I can see maybe one or two, and they've been in there for like a couple of weeks. So, yeah, not much to see there. Here I've got some apricot status and green ami, green mist, which I can't see any of yet. Crispedia, more snaps, more snapdragons down there, and some phlox, which I'd put under a cardboard box because they apparently germinate in darkness, but there's no sign of them yet. So who knows? This is like what was once a vegetable patch, but is now raspberries, full of raspberries. There's a bit of rhubarb, which I'm not going to pick because there's only, as you can see, a couple of stems on it. Yeah, there's a couple of other berries in there, like and there's a blackcurrant, and there's a bramble as well, a blackberry. Also a few alliums, which really should be dug up and put somewhere else. So these are the raised beds that currently have some Achillea in. Achillea summer pastels, which I sowed last year, and I'm meant to move them somewhere else this year, but I haven't yet. So my dahlias will go in here eventually. And I've started to make a sweet pea frame, which I need to finish, probably do that today. In this bed this will also be home for my dahlias, but for now there's a few things that have overwintered, like not intentionally, they've self-sown. Like amazingly, I think that is a couple of delphiniums, which I sowed quite haphazardly. They were part of just like a general mix of seeds that I sowed last year. So I'm quite interested to see what they'll turn out like. Don't know what these are, don't know what this is. It's quite weird looking, but I've seen a couple of bees on it, so I guess it can stay. This is a cold frame that I got recently. It's like an old one I got off Marketplace, and that is currently housing my dahlias that are potted up, also some sweet peas that really, really, really need to be planted. So yeah, the dahlias. There's also an echinacea. Can you see that echinacea raspberry truffle root that I planted? And there's dahlia tubers in there. I can't really see much emerging yet. They were only potted up last week. So over here I've got roses against this. This is the south facing wall, so it's like the sunniest spot in the garden. Roses, I've got Queen of Sweden, the Simple Life, which is a climber, so I need to put some kind of support on that wall. I've got some alliums, some really nice little baby's breath mascari that's really cute. That's another Queen of Sweden rose. These were bare roots that I planted in February, so I don't know how much they'll grow this year, but obviously I will update you. And this bed that I'm currently standing on has nothing in it yet. This is a new bed that I've made. It's a no-dig bed, and I'm going to direct sow some things in here like Nigella, just some annuals that I can use for cutting. This ugly pot is housing a peony that I planted last year. I think it was Emile Debutante, I can't remember exactly. So you can see some shoots there, so I will eventually put that in the ground. There's a Viburnum opulus, which it's just starting to get some, it's got leaves. I can't really see any flowers yet, but hopefully we'll get some. Oh, I can see some tiny things forming. There's a peony. This is a peony called Bowl of Beauty, I think. I think this might be in its second year. It didn't get any flowers last year. Could be third, so I hope to get some. Although I'm really annoyed that I trod on one of the shoots, but it has started sprouting again. Really annoyed with myself that I did that when I was doing a bit of coppicing. I've also got alliums. I think these are Christophi. That's a panicle hydrangea. Eucalyptus, which eucalyptus stump, which I don't like to look at right now. More alliums. There's a couple of Achillea that I planted last year. Also some, that's an echinacea. I think it was Fatal Attraction, but it didn't really do much last year, so hopefully, because it was bare root, hopefully it will come back. There's also going to be Liatris and alliums. So this bed really needs completely digging up and redoing. Which I'm not really doing at the moment. I'm sort of just extending it, and I'm just in the gravel areas. I'm just going to plant lots and lots of alliums and Liatris, Achillea, because Achillea seems to be okay here, and things like that. There's a honeysuckle. I think that's Dropmore Scarlet, and you can just see some flowers coming. And in this corner I've got a Helianthus Lemon Queen. You can just see the shoots emerging. There's nothing here right now, but by sort of September time it's huge, and it covers fills this whole corner. In here I've planted, this is like a bed that gets part shade, 50% really. So there is some forget-me-nots, Astrantia. There is some stilby. You can see the leaves emerging, and over here. So this bed is, I'm in the process of extending, and I've got bare roots that are going to be planted in, and on my seedlings as well. Some of those will be planted in here as well. This is my other cold frame, and in here I've got my bare roots that I got. I think these are all from Farmer Gracie that I've planted up this year. So I've got Bleeding Heart, the Cupid one. In this pot which looks empty, there's actually a caladium, Kathleen. I think it was called Kathleen, like a big pink one, which I'm really excited for. More Astrantia. I think it's Florence this time. Last year I planted Roma, and here in these little pots there's actually some larkspur, which I thought, well, I can only see 2 seedlings, so maybe we'll get more. And that is the pink, fancy pink with white bee larkspur, which would be amazing if that actually does come. A stilby cotton candy, which I think could probably be planted out now. Also, I've got Persicaria alba, which is looking really good. Not quite decided where I'm going to put that yet. A white Bleeding Heart, which I'm going to give to my mum. Some of the Japanese anemones, which you can only just see emerging. Those are I think they're called something Charlotte. They're like a pink variety, and they looked online. They looked so gorgeous, like a really soft pink. So I'm really excited to see those. I've never grown any Japanese anemones before. So that's what's happening around the back. What else have I got? I've got a rose, I've got a Vanessa Bell, which is looking really lush. I just wish I could put it somewhere less exposed, but I don't really have anywhere at the moment. But it's looking really nice. I got that last year. Here I've got a Clematis Esme, which I need to plant something nice around the edges of. This was a rose I planted, a bare root I planted. It doesn't look too great because it was really dehydrated when it came. I only planted that yesterday, and I gave it a drink in water for 24 hours before planting. And this is one of my new no-dig beds as well. This doesn't look great at the moment. There's actually a honeysuckle that I planted last year that's looking pretty good. And it's a shade bed really, this is, so I'm planting things like foxgloves. Some really nice Acer over here, I think that's Acer Katsura. And yeah, so some of the bare roots in that cold frame will go into this bed. I'm not quite 100% sure which ones yet. But there you go, that's the view of the back garden at the moment.